Hello, my name is Emilio Franchi. I'm a Senior Product Manager for Anritsu Company. Today we're going to be demonstrating our CPRI RF solution for LTE signals for Ericsson, Huawei, Alcatel-Lucent, now Nokia, on our new MT1000 transport tester. The main menu of the MT1000 is icon-based, so I'm going to press the CPRI RF icon and that will take us into the application. Now we're in the CPRI RF application, and the first thing you need to do is set up your configuration to see the CPRI RF signal properly. So I'm going to go into the Measurements menu. In the Set menu, I have my configurations. The first one is the port. I am in port 1. That's what my SFP with the fiber coming in. I'm going to set up my line rate. My line rate is going to be line rate 3 for this signal that I'm looking at. Then my antenna containers, I'm going to be starting on antenna container 0, and I know that my signal is actually a 10 megahertz signal. You can kind of see that it's properly starting to show at the bottom. So now I'm going to change my amplitude menu so I can get it to a right level. I'm going to change that to a -40 dB, and there we can see the signal properly on the screen. Now CPRI is a baseband signal, so if you're trying to make a proper capture for a report, you want to set up your frequency that you're actually working in, for example. We can do this as say 750 megahertz. And that will be displayed as your center frequency on screen. The span is fixed based on the carrier bandwidth. In this case, we have a 10 meg signal, so typically you'll see anywhere from 12 to 15 megahertz. It's dependent on the RRH manufacturer's IQ information. So I'm also going to go into my bandwidth menu. Here's where you can change different things, like your resolution bandwidth filter. I'm going to change that to 100 kilohertz. And my video bandwidth filter, I'm going to change that to 300 hertz. So you can still have fast speed, but get finer resolution. So that's all variable, or you can go with the automatic settings based on the span. We have the LTE signal on screen, and as you can see on the right side, there's an interfering signal. And I am going to put a marker on that and then recenter it and zoom in to get a better look at what kind of signal is interfering on top of our LTE signal. So I'm going to go to the marker menu, which is here. That turns on my marker on the first peak. I can go down here on my marker search. So if there were other signals, I can switch it back and forth. I'm going to go back to my marker setup. I'm going to do marker to center frequency. You can see that we're already partially zoomed in. I'm going to go in my frequency menu where I have my span controls. I'm going to come down to about 500 kilohertz. And now my filter's too big, so I'm going to go into my bandwidth filters, start bringing these guys down. So I'm going to go very small. And my bandwidth filter, put down like 30. Okay, let me bring this guy up to 1 kilohertz here. I'm also going to bring my amplitude down. So my reference level is at -40. I'm going to bring that up actually to -20 to get better see that signal. And then again, I can zoom in a little bit more on my span, bring that down to 200 kilohertz. And you can see the signal there. It looks like an FM with the FM deviation going across there. So it's pretty simple. You get your full span, you see your LTE carrier, you see an interfering signal on top, put your marker on that interfering signal, center it on screen, then go to your span controls, zoom in, and now you're better able to see what type of signal is interfering with your LTE carrier. After you determine the interfering signal, you can save it on the instrument and then turn it in as a report. But if you want to look at the complete LTE carrier, it's really easy to get back there. All you need to do is hit the full span button and you're back at your starting point. Now you can also change your resolution bandwidth filters or video bandwidth filters to speed up or slow down the signal. What you've seen today is how easy it is to find interfering signals using our CPRI RF solution on the MT1000 with the fastest sweep speed in the marketplace and zooming in capability. It is also part of the largest portfolio of CPRI RF solutions, including our BTS Master and E-Series product lines. And it's also the first time this type of solution is included in a traditional transport tester that has an OTDR and 10 gig Ethernet.